Warning. This video blog or vlog may contain harsh language and opinions that are not necessarily in line with YouTube or its partners or affiliates. YouTube does not openly endorse the content of this vlog. All opinions are expressly those of Ranting Ramsay and do not reflect on the opinions or values of YouTube, its affiliates, or its parent or partner companies.
Greetings, Internet people. Ranting Ramsay here. How are you all doing today? Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the recent statements made by Pope Benedict. Now, if you haven't been paying attention to the news, or just don't really pay much attention to the Pope or what he says and does, or have been living under a rock for the past few days, then you may not know that Pope Benedict recently made statements alluding to the fact that in some cases, mainly to prevent the spread of disease like AIDS, that the use of condoms is acceptable. Now, the reason that this seems outlandish or out of place or strange is that, for those of you who don't know, the Catholic Church for the longest time has had basically their stance on contraception of any kind is that it's bad. You can't use condoms, your wife can't be on the pill, the shot, Depo-Provera, Norplant, any of that crazy shit that we all learned about in 9th grade fucking health class is generally disapproved of by the Catholic religion. Now, to sidetrack for just a brief moment on that statement alone, their problem with contraception, I think Monty Python's Flying Circus did the best satire, the best job of outlining why that's a silly stance to have in their movie Monty Python and the Meaning of Life. In that movie, there is a sketch about an English father who's Catholic, who he goes into his home and he's literally got like 80 kids. And he announces to his 80 kids that because they're Catholics, they're Roman Catholics, he says specifically, I believe, that because he's a member of the Roman Catholic Church, he can't wear a condom, so every time they have sex, they have to have a baby, which it's silly, it's satire. Yes, I understand that you don't have a baby every time you have sex. I understand how the human reproductive cycle works, okay? So, like I said, it's comedy, it's satire. So, anyway, he says that because that he can't wear a condom and they have to have a kid every time they have sex, he has to sell the whole lot of his children for medical experiments to be able to pay the bills. And that, to me, is hysterical because my problem with the Catholic stance on contraception is that it contributes to a lot of the overpopulation of the world, because one of my absolute best friends growing up is pretty much a member of the Catholic religion, and he doesn't seem to believe in contraception because every time I talk to him, which seems lately to be maybe once a year because we live and lead completely separate lives now on opposite ends of the town and whatnot, we rarely communicate, it seems basically that he is a follower of the Catholic religion and doesn't wear a condom or anything like that, because every time I talk to him it seems like his wife's either pregnant or he just had another kid. Literally, this went on like almost every year for like 4 or 5 years while him and I were still in steady contact, and now we're not really talking that much anymore. It has nothing to do with the fact that he's religious. He has a large family and a wife that requires a lot of attention, and I have my own things going on. So it's not, don't please try to impugn upon me that it's some sort of, I have a problem with him because he's Catholic. No, he's my best friend. I'd take a bullet for him. But, so anyway, that's, I've always thought that the whole Catholic stance on contraception simply does nothing more than lead to the overpopulation of the world. So, when Pope Benedict recently said that in some circumstances condom use is acceptable, I said, really? Wow, that's actually kind of impressive, the Catholic religion being a little bit progressive and whatnot. And then we get to the point where this gets funny. Because I know that whole bunch of mess isn't usually funny. I do try to add a little bit of humor into my videos because it makes things flow a little bit more easily. But here's what I thought was absolutely fucking hysterical. And here's why. Well, why will come after. And the quote from the article I'm going to link down in the description is, he says, Benedict says that in certain cases, such as for male prostitutes, condom use could be a first step in assuming moral responsibility for stemming the spread of the virus that causes AIDS. Now, yes, I'm all in favor of condom use and stemming the flow of AIDS and all that shit and blah, blah, blah. But what really caught me is this, is that he specifically mentions male prostitution. Now, I've always thought that the Catholics' stance on sex, which is sex is for the procreation of the species, not for your personal pleasure, which is one of the main reasons why they don't allow contraception. So why he would specifically make an exception for prostitutes is absolutely fucking beyond me. Now, the logical thinker will say that obviously he knows that people are going to do what they're going to do whether they're Catholics or not. But if a prostitute happens to be a Catholic, meaning that they're a bad fucking Catholic, apparently, if a prostitute happens to be Catholic, they should probably wear a condom so they don't wind up giving or getting AIDS, is what the Pope is basically saying there. Now, the other fucking irony that I find in that statement is that he doesn't seem to realize that, from the statistics that I drug up out of pure morbid curiosity, more than 50% of male prostitutes claim that their clientele was mainly male. So these are male prostitutes servicing gay men. I'm not saying that the prostitutes are gay. They may or may not be. They're just trying to make money. Who gives a shit? But the point is, more than 50% of the people that frequent male prostitutes are gay men. So, vicariously, from a certain point of view, maybe by applying the transitive property of algebra, Pope Benedict is therefore saying that male prostitutes servicing men is acceptable with condom use. I mean, it just seems to me that an organization like the Catholic Church, which takes on such adamant and vehement stands on so many different issues, seems to be giving something of a mixed message in this particular scenario. They're saying condom use to stop the spread of AIDS, like amongst male prostitutes, is okay, yet not acknowledging the fact that a significant percentage of male prostitution is within the same gender, which the Catholic Church has numerous occasions stated they are adamantly against same-sex relationships, that I believe they've even gone so far as to say that it's a sin and gets you damned to hell and all this wonderful happy horse shit. So, once again, to reiterate, the whole fact that he seemed to mention specifically male prostitutes in his the sermon or mass or whatever the fuck the Catholics call it, just seems so deliciously ironic to me that I just couldn't possibly not share my views with you on the subject. And that's pretty much all I really have to say, and I'd like to know what you think. Do you think it's apocryphal of the Catholic Church to say that something like this, that they should, be allowing condom use for stop the stemming or the spreading of the AIDS virus and other sexually transmitted, possibly fatal diseases? Or do you think that they're catching up with the times and finally doing away with an outdated and ridiculous and harmful to the human race and human society, getting rid of one of the law that just, like I said, is detrimental to all of that? So what do you think? One or the other? There's possibly middle ground, and feel free to offer up middle ground if you think I missed something. But so there you go. There you have it. That is the short and skinny of it. I'm Ramsay. That's my rant. That is all.
Hey, did you get all that, man?
Douche.